Hello, guys. Welcome to Three Faces in Dark. I'm Biased Opinions together with Big L and Chiosef. And today is our first podcast after Affliction League. So, what has everybody been playing and what do you guys think about it?
Okay, so for me, I'll start first. I've been playing Penance Brand. From the previous podcast, I've already said that I will be testing out Penance Brand. Um, so currently my build is doing all right. I'm currently farming Shaper Guardians, but I have a sad news to say is that I think the normal Penance Brand gem is bugged. Because um different from what GG has mentioned that monsters are being charged now, it seems like the normal penance brand, the brand itself, are still holding the charges. So for people who are playing penance brand, you will understand what I'm talking about. The first explosion from a normal penance brand is always going to be a bit smaller, but the subsequent ones are usually a bit bigger when the charges are a bit um, brighter, a bit bigger. So um, currently, the size of the explosion and the damage also seems to correlate with the amount of time that the brand spends charging up. So the damage wasn't that good, to be honest, but I've switched to the broken one. The currently the really good penance brand is the transfigured version. Penance brand of dissipation. That one is really good for single target damage. So I've been using that to farm my invites. Then yeah, that's what I've been playing for the past 1 week. Yeah.
Uh, I wanted to link start with poison artillery ballista. I mean poison TR transition into artillery ballista, but it seems that the caustic arrow poison and the scourge arrow of menace is a lot better than artillery ballista. So I've been just switching around between these two gems. Then I've also coupled it with uh, Mana Forge Storm Rain. So, and Storm Rain is also quite interesting. I mean, recently they fixed the bug where uh, you cannot bypass the limit with ballistas, but that's fine. Like you can just use the normal Storm Rain, which has 100 limit arrows, right? Or the other one, which has a 10 limit, but everything zaps towards you. So I've also been switching around, trying out, but feels alright. Yep.
So, I'm the only one among the three of us with absolute disaster. So, mostly because I'm bad, I started with Lightning Arrow Poison, which is actually very strong, don't get me wrong. And then for single target, I use Shrapnel Ballista, which I personally feel is this is because I'm using the poison tincture. So everything I do is poison, including the lightning arrow. I think lightning arrow poison is better than what people say. I don't understand why people will use Scourge Arrow of Menace when lightning arrow works. I'm like this kind of I'm like the guy in Reddit who thinks that lightning arrow is the most busted skill ever. So yeah. Um yeah, because of the poison, the damage was okay. But for single target, I also feel that shrapnel ballista is better than artillery ballista, mostly because of the amount of time taken for the artillery ballista to drop down. Then when the rares are fast, right, or like it moves around, it's really really painful. I see the artillery ballista like follow the rare around, then never hit the rare or something like that. It's quite painful. I think shrapnel is better, but the range is a huge issue and I couldn't get a Defiance of Destiny when I first started. The Defiance of Destiny is really cheap now, but when the league first started, it was around 1.9 divines, and I was like, oh, I'm not gonna farm 1.9 divines like that. So I switched over to oh god. I switched over to a Bone Shatter Slayer. That was painful. First time leveling a melee character. But once I got Tainted Pack and Golden Path, Bone Shatter Slayer is actually really strong. But only with that combo. I feel like even with Overleech, I feel that the Bone Shatter Slayer isn't really worth it if you don't use Tainted Path Golden Pack. Yeah, I stole that build idea from Khan, and since it's a semi-popular build that not many people play, but a lot of people know of it, I was thinking of writing a review later on. Then afterwards, I went to level Shockwave Totem because Astral Projectors are like 9C or something now, and Shockwave Totem is almost always good. So, but by then I kind of burnt out. Yeah, and I was testing a lot of Ultimatum, and the Shockwave Totem, even with Defiance of Destiny, didn't really perform very well. But afterwards, I realized it was because I had broken expectations from the Bone Shatter Slayer with the Tainted Pack Golden Path combo. That one is really broken. Yeah, that combination really makes you almost immune to dots. Yeah, I would say so. So, what's next?
Okay, so I think Bias is the only one that actually played 3 builds in 2 weeks. Both me and Chiosef, we are still stuck with our first build of the league. So I think now is a good time for us to actually talk about let's talk about the league mechanic first. What do you all think of league mechanic? I'm quite sure that you guys have seen that GG was quite quick to patch a lot of the nodes. The damage from the monsters were crazy, at least for the first few days, and people were actively skipping because people actually want to level. Then but I think now after like maybe 3 to 4 waves of nerf on monster damage, I think it's okay, it's manageable now, right? Just that, okay, but this is just my personal opinion. I think that I kind of understand why GG is doing this. It's easier to put a higher monster damage in the beginning and nerf them afterwards, rather than to make new content under tune and then they have to buff it later, and that will potentially anger more players than what they are doing currently. And this has been a long time trend. Always new mechanics that are just released is always a bit more overtuned, and people who are playing the game new to the game might feel that may not get used to this, but we have been playing this for very long and we know this is how GG does things. So what are your thoughts on the new league mechanic? Is it worth to run or do you guys skip it?
Personally, I will just run the mechanic, and like my experience kind of varies. Like sometimes I will really just don't find any whips, so like I would at times get like maybe around 1k whips. So it's like I think it doesn't do much to the quantity and monsters and whatever. But the few times that you manage to get a combine of about 5k, then and all 3 colors, then you'll see the drops coming in, which is quite nice.
This league, I've been mostly testing Ultimatum, so there's actually no benefit for me doing the whiffs. Most of what I've been doing is from Ultimatum. When I first started trying it, all I did was die. So I just never bothered with it already. And one complaint I have is the quests. I wish it was less RNG for new characters. So I know you guys only had one character the entire league, but I made 3 characters. It's unless you go to Act 2 or something and then you keep doing the same thing over and over again, like you spend 1 or 2 hours to get your ascendancies, it's actually quite painful because it's super random and it makes a lot of the mobs very difficult. And the biggest problems when you're leveling, right, is when you have to fight stupid yellow mobs or bosses. And the wisps make both of these things unplayable.
Yeah, so just to add on, currently you can still share the portal to the ascendancy guys in the Wildwood, but like I say, that has what people has been doing since week 1. I think at this point I don't think they'll nerf this interaction, but yeah, if you want, you can always get a friend to help you run the X for a few resets. Should be able to find the league NPC within maybe 10 minutes. You should be able to get your first 2 points. But I do agree that the subsequent points for the new ascendancy is not easy to find because I even for my own my only character, the third quest to kill the Black Morrigan, I took quite a few days to find just that particular one. And are you guys aware that there's a strat now to find bosses or to find events? So apparently you can actually just go in every time you pop into the Wildwood, you can check the 4 directions, like the diagonal directions, as to what every direction. If there's a width, it will normally lead you to either a NPC or a event. If you're potting down and you don't see any widths, chances are you are close to the King of the Mist. So the moment you go down into the Wildwood, you should open a portal so that you can see on your minimap icon that there is a portal there, and that one will be your starting location. From there, just check 45 degrees towards your right, 45 degrees towards your left, and the same for the one down. Yeah.
What the hell is this tech? How did people even figure that out?
So I actually saw this on. Do you know the guy that make the POE loot filter?
Never sync, right?
Yeah. So he's the one who actually hypothesized this, and I think so far I've been trying out his method just to try out. It seems to work. From the moment I saw his theory about this, then I went to try. I found like maybe 3 to 4 bosses already, but that is really just your attitude towards the Wildwood. Some people go in to find whips, so for those people they are fine. But if you are going down just to find events and the bosses, I think this strat is actually quite worth it to do. So the moment you go down, unless you hit a dead end, you can just keep going and see whether you will find a boss or some like I think the most common encounter is the forest cache and the one that has the tree corpse. Those 2 are the most common one. And then every now and then you might find the chattering eggs and the experimental harvest and the beyond. These are the few more common events. But aside from this, you can also get to see the NPCs, and eventually, if you find the boss only spawns in T14, by the way. So the map level must be 81 and above for you to actually find King in the Mist. So if you have been playing in white maps or yellow maps, you will never see the boss.
What about like you got to kill 3 trees for the yellow one? Is that event also?
Yes, that one is an event. If you are familiar with one of the bosses, in one of the maps, Cold River was it, or it's a map that is currently not available on the Atlas now. But they bring these 3 bosses, this Treant bosses into the encounter below. So these 3 Treants are part of the quest line for the Tincture Ascendancy. As for the Charms Ascendancy, I believe you have to kill. You have to. Previously, I went to kill 500 nameless monsters, but now you can actually there's a kind of a exploit. You can actually just kill one and just keep desecrate them for the 500. And the third in the quest line for Charms is Black Morrigan, right? I haven't I'm not sure what you have to do for the Blood Magic Ascendancy, but I know the Blood Magic Ascendancy actually requires you to kill the King in the Mist, but the one that is found outside of his arena. So that one is the mini boss. Yeah. But if you found the three altars, the three dark offerings, that one is the portal to the real boss, the King in the Mist. Yeah. And from what people have been testing out never since theory, it seems like the entrance to the King of the Mist is almost always quite empty of whips, so there's no whips around the King of the Mist. Yeah. So I mean, I'm just gonna test that theory out for the rest of the league. So maybe we'll get back to you in the next podcast on how the finding is, because I've only heard of that news, I think 2 to 3 days prior to the podcast, to this current podcast. So I've actually only played for a good 2 days to can't really talk about how good the theory is or how accurate the theory is. Yeah. But at least so far I am quite happy with the amount of boss encounter that I saw. Yeah. So yeah, and that is just the mini events. I believe this league can be one of the most rewarding league as well, because I've been looking at the amount of whips that I've collected for maps, and there are my record high in the map was 8 divine in one map, and I too bad I didn't track what kind of whips that my map had, but I knew that the divine was dropping from every, because I was also running incursion for the whole of the map, and it dropped divine every incursion. So I don't know if it's augmented like that because of incursion or what, but as far as I know, it seems like if you juice up your map with a lot of rare monsters together with the whips, it's a very good combination to get divines. And I've seen quite a lot of my guild members actually talking about how rich they are this league because of these random divine drops.
Oh, that's quite interesting. I heard about Empyrean juicing, mega juicing like a bajillion divines or something like that. I also heard of like people. Actually, I think Ziz has a video explaining about like the blue wisps, the yellow wisps, and the purple wisps. So please watch the other videos for the explanation, cause like I don't remember it, and unless someone wants to explain.
Okay, just let me explain. Like the blue whips is it will make the monster drop currency. The yellow is quant. The purple is rarity. So generally, if you will want to have at least 2k of a certain juice for it to actually even have any sort of effect. So if you only have 2k and 2k, generally you will hope that the whips will go into the rare monsters or the unique monsters for them to drop certain items of more quantity or more rarity. Yeah. So if you are playing something like Magic Find, you already have both of the stats. Maybe you want the blue whips if possible, because then the monsters will be more in tune to drop currency. Yeah.
Also, if you find the light bulbs in the middle of nowhere, those will extend your stay in the wildwood wood.
I always touch those because they look so cool, but like I never understood what they did.
There is two, right? So there is one light bulb that you take, and then there is seemingly nothing happen. So that one is like a battery. It is like a fuel for you to run in the woods longer. But got one of there is another bulb that actually has a mini nova. That one, I believe, it doesn't increase your fuel as much, but it actually clears out the area for you to see what is beyond your field of vision. Yeah. So any more thoughts on the link mechanic? I think that there's potentially, because now it's still week 2, there's potentially a lot of broken things that we can do with the link mechanic to juice up the maps. Yep.
So my question is, what mechanics do you think is good in combination with the league mechanic? Do you think Blight might work?
No, because Blight generates normal monsters and at most magic monsters. There are a few rares here and there, but I think the general mechanic that you want to stack for in addition to Affliction is to go with mechanics such as Harbinger, Abyss, Legion, those that spawns a lot of rare monsters. You want those, so that there is more chances for the weeks to infect them, and you get more loot as a result. Yeah, that's my take on it lah. And I may not do a magic find because I think there's no point to magic find since all these monsters are going to be empowered by whips. I rather you make a character that can kill them fast enough. Then so I think this league maybe Headhunter will actually be comparable to Mage Blood because people will be using Headhunter to farm the league mechanic. But yeah, just want to rant that I cannot believe Apothecary prices actually dropped because I bought one Apothecary a few days ago. They were selling for about 40 div, but I bought it at 39. I thought it was steal. Just before the podcast, I went to check the prices of Apothecary, and they are down to 36, which I think is good. I don't think Mage Blood should be so expensive. So yeah, so there is that. And any more things to add on for the league mechanic? Okay, then let's talk about the more exciting part of this league, right? Let's talk about the gems. What gems have you guys tried, and what gems what do you want to talk about?
I've only tried, like say, the poison caustic arrow, scourge arrow of menace, then and storm rain. Other than that, I mean, there are quite a lot of interesting new builds that I would want to try.
Like what?
Like oh no.
Cleave of Rage, Blade Storm.
I mean, everyone is memeing on that right now. The mega AoE, right? Maybe I would like to try the hit-based Soren, maybe on a class on crit build. I have yet to see the spiral one. I don't really know how it looks like, but I think that it will be quite interesting, I guess.
I think previously I saw some YouTubers making like some gem reviews for Soren. I believe the damage is really the damage should be good. It's just that Soren you might actually need Nimis, and I don't know how much Nimis is right now because you really want the projectile to actually return for a double hit.
I mean, okay, now we are looking at the spiral Soren, but I'm unable to see the spiral.
It looks really broken, man. Like,
Oh, as in, so it shoots out in a nova. I thought it would be like like spiral.
Spectral Helix, right?
Yeah.
The only thing closer to Spectral Helix is Ball Lightning of Orbiting, but we don't talk about that. That one is my next build.
So that one is spectral helix, but ball lightning. So it doesn't follow you. It doesn't orbit around you. It's
Oh,
not
it's
like
not
a blade
Diablo 4.
vortex.
It's not Blade Vortex because it doesn't have a duration tag. Once you cast it, it turns out for whatever projectile speed you have, and then that's all.
So it will spiral outwards. I see.
Yeah, it's a bit like it is literally just Spectral Helix, but spell. So I'm not really sure how good it will be, but like I say, it's just going to be a skill that I would like to test for the next build. If the thing is, if the skill is bad, I'll just change it to something else. I'm pretty sure there are a lot of gems for us to play this round. And to your point, actually, I think Soul Rend is cool. The Soul Rend of Ripping, the one that has a lot of crit. I thought that one is really cool, but the problem about Soul Rend is that it doesn't. The other transfigured Soul Rend don't have the don't have additional projectile to make it nice. That's the problem.
I see. So you have to somehow find extra projectiles.
I think if you do find extra projectiles, it might be good with the new kinetic blast of fragmentation. That one shot guns as well. So you might have like, I heard you like projectiles.
You mean kinetic bolt or blast?
Kinetic bolt. Kinetic bolt. Yeah.
But I mean, if we are talking about Soul Rend, so Soul Rend is nice. Soul Rend is nice. Anybody? What other gems are you all currently looking at as well?
I think Tetiantel. I know Big L is a non-believer in this, but Tetiantel is very excited about the new ball lightning or static. I've actually tried it. I didn't make a whole build around it, but I really think it has potential to be very strong because um it scales with duration and it doesn't require that much cast speed because of the cooldown. You're usually gated by cooldown and you're not really gated by the cast speed. So I think there's a lot of potential. And like Tetiantel, man, come on. Tetiantel himself says it's strong, so it must be. Especially since Stormburst was buffed this league and he's playing the Ball Lightning or Static instead of Stormburst.
So I think the overview of how I think about the Ball Lightning or static totems is that at the top end, I don't think it's as good as things like Shockwave Totem. And hear me out. The reason is because the skill is gated by the cooldown, which people have been talking about how you can use totems to bypass the cooldown because whenever you summon, each totem has 3 charges of Ball Lightning for them to use. So like what I mentioned, every time you place a totem down, you actually consume 1 cooldown for yourself. So at any point of time, from what I understand, you can only have 3 totems down. And each of these totems can summon 3 Ball Lightning or static, which is like 9, right? And the only reasoning why I told buyers that this might have good scaling in the beginning, but at the top end, if you have the same amount of budget, you would have made a better build with Shockwave because at any point of time, Shockwave can always have almost 6 totem up. And when you compare 6 totems versus 3 totems that you have to micromanage the cooldown for you to put on 3 different locations, the micromanaging and the ease of play of Shockwave Totem just don't match up. And I think that the scaling for Shockwave is definitely higher than Ball Lightning. And that's why I say that Shockwave Totem is better.
I think that's true. But the Ball Lightning or Static really does a lot of damage for single target. Assuming the boss doesn't move, yeah, which is a pretty huge assumption ever since I tried Artillery Ballista. Ternary Ballista has so much problems with that.
And like what you say, Shockwave Totem actually homes, because with Astral Projector the monster can't run away. It literally spawns on the monster's foot. So I find it like it is definitely the flavor of the month for Totem players, because very seldom people actually have a good Totem skills to play. I mean the one that has damage actually don't feel good to play. I'm talking about Ice Spear Totems. It has the highest damage, but it's not nice to play, right? Because people actually have to jump stop to Freezing Pulse to clear. Ball Lightning or Static is the first one that can do both for clearing and bossing, which I can get behind that. But like I say, if you are serious about investing into a Totem build, you might as well play Shockwave Totem. Especially since the unique disc for Shockwave Totem, which is the Astral Projector, is so cheap. I mean, if you are playing the cold conversion one, you guys took a big nerf from Heat Shiver, but I think Heat Shiver is still very strong for its power. So definitely still viable build. It's just that people want to go and play new skills, which I totally understand.
Well, Shockwave Totem is definitely still strong. There's also another one, one of the first few ones that is very popular. Is from Jungron, Seething, Volatile Dead or Seething, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, the one where he has like cast on crit on the Mana Forge arrows, and there's a crit. You guys don't see this, but Big L thinks he's shaking his head and he's like, damn, Mana Forge arrows shouldn't be casting on crit.
So this is just my like we all know that Jungron is the one that popularized the Namahu's Flame boss on crit. Right? He was the one that played that, and I do agree that some things that are being tied to items, you can do double cut on crit on both things, both the attack and the trigger to trigger another COC. But as far as I see, we really don't need the Dead Eye to be as strong as it is right now, or any bow characters to be as strong as it is right now. And the fact that Mana Forge can trigger a cast on crit is just broken. The way I see is this, most likely I think they will patch it, because I don't see how a trigger is supposed to trigger another COC setup. I'm just not buying this, you see.
Fun fact, we're looking at POE Ninja now. 20% of the players are Deadeye and 11% of the players are Pathfinder. We definitely don't need projectile to be more stronger.
And the crazy thing is, right, they haven't even touched Deadeye for balancing. That means Deadeye has been like that for very long already, right? And the way I see is, I mean, POE Ninja actually snapshots the top, I don't know, 80,000 characters. That is, I think, at level 98 and above. So who knows? Maybe there will be even more Dead Eyes around. It's just that it's not being captured. Yeah. So the way I see is that I think Mana Forge is a very cool thing, but first thing, I don't think Mana Forge should be able to be supported by life tech. I also don't think that Mana Forge should trigger another cast on crit. But that's just my personal opinion, because I do understand that they want they want to create more people. They want to make both more enjoyable for players, but it seems like Bo has been overwhelmingly popular for the past few leagues, and I believe I would want other builds to be on Bo's level. We don't need to really nerf Bo that much, but I want more buff to the other skills, especially things like self class.
No, you mean melee. Melee really sucks. Trust me, guys. Melee is suffering. I don't understand how people can play melee.
No, you can just play the new Cleave, alright? The new Cleave and the new Rage Warfare is so strong.
Actually, if it's strong, right, Slayer will be off the charts. So I'll probably have to try it. But Slayer, Tainted Pack, Golden Path, really strong. It's been strong since Crucible. Alright, we are talking about transgens. Not sure what else. Let me think.
I mean, I can talk about the Penance brand, right? Penance brand is broken right now, so if anyone is wanting to play the league, like if you had a bad league start, you're just starting fresh later into a league, you need a gem that can carry you all the way to your end game. You can consider Penance brand of Dissipation. I think you use that gem, you play it on a class like Inquisitor, Hierophant, Elementalist, should be able to take you all the way to endgame. If the scaling is very straightforward, just get a bit of cast speed, just get mostly cast speed. If you are crit, get crit. You need some brand duration, and that's about it, man. You fix up all your defenses, and you can just play Penance brand like it's self cast. And I really do encourage people to try out Penance brand on Dissipation. You would maybe like it is as good as old school Stormbrand's damage, but better. Because there is also additional scaling through hatred, because it's considered a physical spell.
Actually, on the topic of Stormbrand, they mentioned that the Stormbrand's trans gem is also very strong.
It is strong. I think it's stronger for single target, but not for clear. So to me, Stormbrand is already a very strong gem for bossing already. So I don't really understand why they needed to make another Stormbrand that is good for bossing. But I think it's better to just try out the Penance brand. Stormbrand is still good. If you like Stormbrand, you can play Stormbrand. Yeah. And I think recently people are catching on to the art of surging. I think that one is a bit. I am not a fan of that, because it seems like you need to rely on to hit on something. So you actually need to hit on something like Hydrosphere to make sure the chains all hit onto one target. And I get the logic, it's just that it feels a bit clunky to play, I feel.
Right, but that's only for the single target situation, right? So it becomes a 2-button combo for single target and a 1-button if you're clearing. I think that sounds okay to me. Not sure.
I mean, it really entirely revolves around the unleash cooldown, right? So how much can you really just how many seals can you get, and how fast does your seal recharge? And now we are looking at the skill gem prices. Seems like Awaken Unleash has gone up in price. I still cannot believe it that people are paying so much just for Awaken Unleash. How much is Spell Cascade now? Awaken Spell Cascade. Wow, Spell Cascade is 7 diff. I think it's time for us to play some Rip already. It's damn cheap. I think this is the first time I see Spell Cascade actually being so cheap. Oh, but guess what? Rip doesn't have any Transfigure gems.
Yeah, I mean, we were hoping for the Fire Reap to come back, but Reap didn't get anything this time. Yeah, so I think, I mean, I was sort of thinking of playing the Blood Magic build. Then I guess Reap would go well with it. So because it takes a portion of the life cost and adds it to the fees. So yeah.
Actually, there is a new unique disc league that actually has this interaction as well. I believe it's a staff drop by the King of the Mist. It has a level 1 life tap supported to it. So it adds a portion of your life cost as chaos damage. I can see that being played as poison, but I'm not sure. You really have to build around being able to sustain the life cost, because I think life tap literally triples the mana cost. So whatever that you are using, or maybe you want to build around it, you actually have to spend a lot of life to get a big amount of flat added chaos. And I'm not sure if this is enough for people to not consider Covenant chess. You see? So I don't know. As far as I understand, that stuff is currently on trade for like 1C because people are not seeing the potential of the stuff. But I think there is a value there. And I think the opportunity cost is just the WoW ascendancy, which we all know the charms are broken, right? Yeah.
I mean, there's also the 500 HP degen. So I think that's also, you need to mitigate the degen and the life cost to it. So I think that's, I guess you're playing increase to get your regen. If not, what are you gonna play Pathfinder and keep drinking life pot to sustain it?
I think currently the way I see is that the text on the weapon is to lose 500 life. You don't actually take damage. So maybe you can use Dissolution for and together with the Eternal Youth, so that you turn ES recharge into life recharge. Maybe that could be a thing.
It's just degen, right? Yeah.
I'm
Can we
not
look
really
up on
sure.
the new stuff?
POE DB.
Yeah, you go to
You go to
POEDB.
and we can see the new stuff. It is apparently a drop by the King of the Mist. Click on the unit there. Oh, so it's called the Burden of Shadows. So you lose 500 life per second. You lose what? But Dissolution of the Flesh requires you to take damage. The Dissolution of the Flesh and Eternal Youth states that you have to take damage so that it will start to reserve life. But if you don't actually take damage, you only lose life, then it's fine.
And then
It's
there's this new shield, right? The Flawed Refuge. Is this like the first time where damage get convert backwards from elemental to physical? I thought usually the conversion will only go forward. So not sure if there's any new tech to it.
I mean, there's the Red Cage, right? Red Cage seems to convert fire to fist or something. So I'm not sure if this flawed refuge will see any use, because currently I think people are not the game is not created balanced around physical damage being taken. So I think it's harder to mitigate elemental damage from hits when you convert them to physical hits, unless you have very big armor scaling. Yeah. If not, this one is a bit hard to use, I feel.
I think it might be good with armor because yeah, but part of the reason is because it's only 40%. And let's say you take a fire hit, right? So you only take 40% of it. Armor is actually stronger for smaller hits, right? And armor comes after elemental conversion. Does this convert twice? No, it shouldn't, right? Yeah. But the thing is, armor might be good, endurance charges might be good. Endurance charges is probably a must for this, due to how high elemental damage can be. And Juggernaut is the only ascendancy that I can imagine reducing to a lot of this. Yeah.
I mean, even Juggernaut, that particular node that use armor to block the elemental damage, that one is a mod on the charms as well. So if you are gearing for that, I think it can be very tanky. But the shield, I think it's still a very niche use. I don't think people will get to use much of the shield unless there's something broken with the shield that has yet to be found out. And if once people catch on to that particular idea, then maybe this shield will see more use. But the current unique that I see most of people will want to use is actually that which was taken. That one is you actually roll 4 charm mods, and that one is very strong, especially for characters that are running the Tincture Ascendancy. Since those characters will not have any charm mods, they are more particular about what kind of that which was taken jewel that they choose. But for people who are using the charm ascendancy, they can be more flexible with this particular jewel. So yeah, I think any more transfigured gems that we want to talk about. I mean, we have just sideway ourselves into the unique for this league, but I think it's cool because it's very common for us to talk about gems, and then because we normally want to pair the new gems with some new items that we are having this league, right? And I think currently I'm looking at explosive trap ignite build. The explosive trap of magnitude actually is a pure physical spell, and I was thinking to convert it to cold and then to fire, half of it to fire to play an elementalist for ignite. So far I think it's just a build that I've been theory crafting. Haven't really talked about how I want to gear it up, but yeah, that may be my third or fourth build of the league. But oh yeah, I want to talk about something that GG seemingly nerf this league, and it's Ethereal Ethereal from the rework of last league when they rework returning projectiles. Ethereal actually work with Nimi's return, right? And currently, when they actually remove the duration tag on the original Ethereal apparently it doesn't work with Nimis or returning projectile anymore. The transfigured version where they still leave the blades there, which is the old version, the one that I played last league. That one still returns, but GG already away the projectiles that the skill has. Yeah, so for people who are considering to play EK, I think you wouldn't have a good time because it doesn't work with Nimis right now. Maybe you are better off playing some other builds like the new Ensanguinate if you are playing Poison. Yeah, the EK variant may not be that good anymore because if you are relying on the returning hits to apply Wither or stuff, it wouldn't be that good anymore.
I was quite hyped on the Divine Ire when the patch notes dropped. So I haven't really seen anyone playing it. So might look into it.
Do you, Divine Ire has 2, right? Is it the one that has a bigger blast, reliant on the blast, or the one that is like the old one where it charges up the pulses?
No, just the normal gem itself. Yeah.
I think it's because they are busy playing the static ball lightning.
Yeah, true. I mean, most of your players who are talking about Divine Ire wanted to play on totems, and seems like a lot of the totem players that enjoy totems actually playing ball lightning or static right now.
Because I remember like the uh the from 20 charges it became 10, and then the each stage the multiplier is a lot more now. And then they also remove the damage penalty when you are charging. Yeah. So we'll see.
Actually, I want to also look at the Flame Blast. Flame Blast has two versions right now because Flame Blast of contraction. So instead of Flame Blast becoming bigger and bigger, it becomes smaller and smaller, right? I think it's quite cool, but basically you have to play like a god gamer for this to work. And I believe the other one, Flame Blast of Celebrity, that one is actually a celerity. That this one is actually very strong because from what I heard, if you charge it up to max, it instantly explodes. And for those of the players that actually have interacted with or have played channeling spells in POE, channeling don't actually stop if they don't have an upper limit. You can channel it forever. But since Flame Blast of Celerity has a upper limit of 3 stages, every time you hit the max stack, it will explode. And for every stage, it deals 165% more spell damage. So I think there is a lot of potential for self-casting to be played on Flame Blast. It's just that we just haven't seen most of the builds come out yet. And I believe this is just a very new thing because there is a flood of content for us to play, and then 2 weeks is too short for people to re-roll for a good build.
Actually, I think Junggrown mentioned that he actually wanted to play Elementalist Flame Blast of Contraction at the start. Ignite would solve the problems that Contraction will have, and Contraction will also solve the single target damage problem that most Ignite builds have.
I don't think that when you are channeling Flame Blast, the circle you can move it, right? It's like fixed there. It's not like other channeling skill where you can position elsewhere. Okay. Maybe we can play with totems, I guess, to help with the auto targeting.
Because I mean, if you are talking about you want to leave it to the game in the game's AI to do the targeting, then I think totems is the best. So, Bias, any more gems you want to talk about, or what kind of builds do you want to play next?
Oh god, if I thought about all the builds I want to play and the stuff I want to try on PoE, I'm probably done for already. I'll probably take up the entire podcast. But not much. You mentioned that the charts have minion health. Probably Guardian would be nice. Oh yeah. SRS of Enormity. The prices seems to have dropped now at the start. At the start it was a little bit more expensive. SRS of Enormity with minion instability is not bad, from what I hear.
Okay, so let me share some more experience because I one of the league start days, I think within the first week itself, there was a day that has quite decent lab and I ran lab. Yeah.
Alright, I'm so sorry. Another thing is Lancing Steel or Spraying might be good for cast on crit. I saw some guy do it with some lightning skill, I can't remember, but it doesn't really matter. So but lightning steel or spraying it looks very good for cast on crit if you are melee build.
I think I know which video you're talking about. I think it's the new lightning conduit, the one that keeps striking down. Yeah, definitely can try that out if I'm going to play energy blade inquisitor. I think that one is a very strong archetype for this league as well. You can test a lot of spell gems there. But yeah, so I was saying I've tried the new lab. And I think lab these days is quite good if you are playing solo self farm because you can actually farm your own empower, enlighten, and enhance in lab itself. But I must say that the craft for the targeted transfigure gems and the exceptional gems are very rare. In the maybe 20 to 30 labs that I've ran in the first week itself, I have not actually. I have gotten one targeted transfigure craft and one two of the exceptional support gems craft. So it is actually a very very rare craft, but most of the people who are getting the transfigured gems are doing the random same color of three kinds. Yeah.
Actually, right? Okay, I'm not sure if this penance brand of dissipation is a bug. It says 122 chaos right now. It really is. For damn, I should have bought more of it. I got mine for like 5C or something like that. Anyway, what I wanted to point out was it seems that three of the highest selling, most expensive at least, trans gems are blue. So if you do run the labs for your ascendancies, you might as well just stick a blue gem inside. Yeah.
Wait, so the second one on the list is actually a support gem, and I think the only reason it's so high is because people actually don't know how to make this. This is actually very easy to make. You actually get three. The gem that I'm talking about is elemental penetration. So, elemental penetration support is actually gotten by getting the replica bitter dream. You vendor bitter replica bitter dream with fire pen, cold pen, and lightning pen together, and all these three gems must be level 20. Yeah, so I think the only reason it's so high is because people don't want to do the work to level up those gems. But bias is right. The top three gems for pricing is Penance Brand of Dissipation, Frostblink of Wintry Blast, and Storm Brand of Indecision. So, I would say that if you are doing lab and if you got the targeted transfigured gems, definitely go for Frostblink or Storm Brand. Penance Brand is not 100% craft because there is Penance Brand of Conduction. So you might not want to gamble with that. You want to get confirm profit with those targeted craft. I also got my Penance Brand of the Dissipation through the 3 random gems. So that is actually a very strong craft. But I think the general guide to bring in blue gems is correct. You can go and buy the level 1 gems, 20 quality blue gems. Just buy the cheapest, uncorrupted, bring it to lab and see if you can get the more expensive crafts. Yeah.
Okay, I didn't know I was so excited about this league, but it seems that I am. Also, another thing, right, is the trans gem for golems seems to be slightly more expensive. I haven't touched golems in a while. They might be the budget build, the budget minion build in the future. Once SRS gets nerfed and once we have the bodies from this league removed, which is a whole hour, it's a whole other 20 minutes, I think.
You talking about the new corpses, is it?
Yeah, the new corpses are insane, bro. Like, you guys know, but holy shit, it adds so much.
Oh yeah. I I think I found like 2 perfect hydras. Yeah, but I mean they weren't going. I didn't find any tiger lah, and there. I mean, it's not in the divine range. It's like So far, I think I sold the perfect Hydra. It was at 75C at the point. Yeah. But I mean, it wasn't like that crazy.
Wait, are we talking about bodies now? Or okay, if we are talking about specters now, right? There's I think another YouTube video up already, but I swear I thought of it myself. You could use Divine Blessing, Raise Spectre, and on any marionette. It doesn't have to be perfect, as long as it revives itself for free blessing aura. Yeah. Yeah, for free guardian blessing. Also, they all have pretty insane stuff. If you can keep them alive, I'm not sure. The marionette one is, if you can't keep them alive, it's fine. That's what they're there for, because they reform themselves after they die. But they have smite. They have your lightning damage is lucky, which is insane. It is it, it is like a 33% more multiplier. If I did my math correctly, I need to do it again. But basically, if you play D&D, it's like you roll for advantage. So if you have the percentage for that, uh, that's how much more damage you do. More, not not increase, which is really insane. And it comes with wrath for reasons I don't understand. um, there's also a spectre that gives haste. There's a spectre that gives grace. There's a spectre that gives vitality. I think there's one that gives charges also, so you don't have to use the chieftains. It's so insane.
As a non minion player, even when I look at what the specters what kind of specters that they are introducing this league, I'm also very excited because first I need to say I think I got very lucky in the first few days of the league. I actually got a perfect hulking miscreation in the fourth or fifth day. I sold that for about 2 divine because I actually just put it in my sell tab, but I didn't list it. That someone tried to offer me like 25C. Then I was surprised. So I went to take a look. Turns out it was 2.5 diff. So I sold mine for 2.5 diff. Then
I
I
gotta say
think
though,
yeah.
the 25C 2.5 divs, not much difference. I think you could have sold him for 25C.
Yeah, no. Generally, people who actually, I am usually quite okay with people offering me stuff. If I put like in my cell tab, if they PM me and then maybe they want a discount, I think I'm okay with that. But that particular spectre was in my cell tab, but I didn't list any price. And usually these are the people who PM me the price. These are the things that I should look out for because I generally know they are trying to snipe people that don't know the price. So that is that. I did found the perfect white tiger. I sold that for I think at the point of time I sold it for 5 diff. I forget already, but it was a very it has a very strong aura tag to the tiger as well. Yeah, I think haze, and it has something else. The forest tiger, perfect forest tiger. It has some kind of scaling also. Yeah, the attack damage per evasion rating. So I don't know what they are buying for, but maybe just for the haze. But I agree with buyers. There is a perfect judgment spirit. That one is the one that gives the rough, I think. Fortune, huh? Yeah. So basically that one, right? I read the live bug thread. It seems like it is the rough that it casts currently only works with attacks but not spell. But the lightning damage should be global. So I believe that for anybody that is playing minions, playing lightning builds, should consider this as a spare specters if you have 3 gem sockets to actually spare, because a lightning build that always deals lucky strike versus a lightning build that doesn't, you actually have a lot more damage uptime. Yeah, so I think players that are not used to specters this league might want to get used to a bit of specter managing, because I think the specters that are available this league is actually fun. You can actually build a lot of you can build your specters as support, you can build your specters as the main damaging source. So I think this is actually a good league for people who love to play minion builds. Yeah.
I mean, I've always wanted to play Charon Golems, but I have never gotten to it. So maybe.
What if I tell you one of the best item from last league has become core? It's called Mata's Teaching. That thing gives +2 minion gems globally, and also your minions inherit the crit of your main weapons. So that one is actually a very strong item for minion builds.
Yeah. I remember that one. I remember checking that out.
But are you going to use that as your main weapon, or are you going to like make Omen wand, Prophecy wand, and then get the crit high up?
No, you can't, because Matas is a scepter, so you can only hold it with another melee weapon. So you probably want to do it with something that has a high base crit, but can still roll for high crit chance. But even so, actually, I think you can also just use this as your main link. I don't see anything wrong with this being your main main weapon, because it has 9 base crit as well.
Oh yeah, 9 should be good enough.
I remember checking this out. You can get like slightly higher crit chance if you get a specific weapon for it. But if you want that with minion damage and the other stuff, it will cost you an arm and a leg. Yeah.
Actually, you can just buy a close to perfect Matas, and you just need to calculate how much you just got to make, because there is a harvest enchant to reduce the quality but give crit chance. You just need to hit the next breakpoint to 10, and you should be quite cool with Matas being the main weapon for you to use. But obviously, this is not the best, because we all know Matas only has crit chance, but it doesn't have any sort of increased damage for your build. So I think most of the players who are in softcore, they will just use Matas as offhand. They will use a main hand with some minion percent damage and some kind of scaling there. Yeah.
I mean, usually minion players would have their convoking wand with trigger to save your fingers by casting Desecrate Offering and whatever.
But I mean, you can't hold a convoking one, right? So probably people will just do you find those generic texts, maybe, or maybe you don't want to find synthesized bases that have good implicits for you to make use of. Then you do a craft for the trigger craft. I think that's fine. Yeah. I mean, so these are just some of our takes on the current builds that we see. Should we talk about charms, tinctures, and some of the thus far? What are the strong builds that we have seen so far?
Well, for tinctures, all damage can poison. Even before the league started, everybody knew it would be broken. When the
Yeah.
league started, it was broken. Charms, I only know about Impale, getting an additional hit being quite strong. I think you guys definitely look more at the charms, cause like to me the charms are way too expensive.
Right. So I think the tincture ascendancy is just there's a lot of QOL there because I think the detect evil node is very good because you can actually see rare and unique monsters on your map now as a separate map icon, right? Then other than that, danger is a bit meme. All the other dangers are kind of failed design because it only applies to attacks. But the poison one is definitely the one that is outstanding. For charms wise, I think currently charms are broken because it actually gives the fact that any character can have 3 charms is broken because there are some nodes that if you can stack it up, it's crazy, like the Dead Eyes projectile +1. It actually applies to spells as well, so you can actually try to stack it up. Projectile +1. Yeah. So a build can potentially have +4 projectiles, which is broken. But obviously you are also going to spend a big amount of money, right? Okay, then the second one that I want to talk about is the Pathfinder one. The gain 1 flash charge per 3 seconds. So if you stack that one up 3 times, you can actually, any ascendancy can be a Pathfinder right now. And to be honest, the charm for that is not expensive for what it gives. It's about 3 to 4 diff per charm. So I mean, if you are paying 12 diff for every ascendancy to be a Pathfinder, would you do it? I will do it, right? So I think charms got the potential to be broken as everyone knows it's broken. It's just how you want to itemize, how you want to build your builds. This league might be the league where there's a lot of build variety. Yeah.
Well, another YouTuber also mentioned about stacking the power charge stacking. So void batteries might be back in vogue.
I think the charms power charge nodes are still okay. The only item this league that actually pushes all the power charge stacking is actually Ralakesh Impatience. Because right now you can actually move and still have your charges being counted. Yeah, it's just that the builds that were abusing the charges to be consumed, those has been nerfed. But if you're using the charges as how they are supposed to be used, like you just want to scale like the number of power charge, frenzy charge that you have, I think this league is one of the best league to play those archetypes. So you can play as assassin, you can play as occultist, hierophant, trickster, whatever. I think it's very strong. What are some of the things that we highlighted? The +1 proc and max 1 flash charge per 3 seconds. Those are very strong charm mods. I think there is also a few strong ones like the maximum 2 resist. That one is very strong as well. If you are playing any sort of raider or have mage blood, the increased onslaught effect is also very strong. I think that one is actually broken if you can abuse it. If you want to be a tanky boy, you can actually just grab 3 of the juggernauts node, the one that actually use armor to help you tank the elemental hits. Those are very strong as well. Yeah. And for stat stacking, I can't believe that they actually give stat stacking a buff here. Stat stacking can actually just get 32% strength from charms. From 3 from charms and 1 from the dead which was taken jewel. Bias is talking about max block, but yeah, we have known that the block ascendancy is not a thing right now. So we don't talk about gladiator, but yeah, definitely if you are a fan of block, you can actually go for the max block as well. I think okay, so this is just my own personal things. I also like cause there is especially the Slayer one, the cannot be bleed and cannot be stunned while you are leeching. So for any builds that are running Petrified Blood or any sort of like for Trickster, they have the ES Overleech. Those builds actually might have a hard time to find stun avoidance. And for that, you can actually use the charms to negate because you should be always leeching. And since you are always leeching, you cannot be stunned. So I think this is actually very strong. I still don't don't see a lot of people talk about it, and I want it to stay that way because I don't want people to buy up the charms that I actually want to buy. Yeah, but that being said, I think that there's a lot of QOL you can get from charms, and it really depends. Like, especially when I am playing my Inquisitor, right now I have a charm that I found. If my maps have Ally Reflect, I will just put that charm in so that I will not take reflected ally damage. I think that one is from the Elementalist note, but I just somehow found the combo to be quite good for my build when I will switch in the charm whenever I need to. So I think this is a very good addition to the game, but I do understand that they might have to balance some numbers for charms to be a thing in future PoE leagues.
I guess you also can stack the leech's instance, right? Then it would feel, I guess it is like your life gain. You will feel like life gain on hit. So, but the thing is, you you have to take the hit first.
I think
You must manage the hit first before you can gain back.
No, it's not just the hit. I think you also have to manage your amount of life because the amount that you can reach back is actually only 1/10 of your life capped. Yeah, at any point of time, it's only 1/10. Yeah.
20% maximum, but 20% maximum base. So 20 max, yeah. And each one is like 2% or something like
so
that.
there is a limit to how much per instance you can get back. So
Yeah.
even if no matter how much leech that you get back, you still have to raise the cap of your each cap leech cap rate, which I feel unless you are playing Valpack or you are playing Slayer or Scion Slayer, which have those mods, generally you won't get as much mileage from the instant leech, but it's a good source of sustain. No problems there. It's just that it's not it is good, but it's not reliable enough to be your only kind of sustain.
Actually, increase maximum recovery per life leech is more important. Yeah.
And I feel like this mod is only available on Lich Mastery. Like there is only one. So there isn't really a lot of such mods. And if you can get this on charms, I think there's potential for people to abuse this, but then you have the opportunity cost whether you want more of this or more of the other more crazier mods that you can get.
I think with Valpack will double this. If you have this, you can go up to, from what I look at right now, 90%. 90% on a perfect roll. I think you can get a little bit more on the life leech. So if you have 40%, 40% Valpack doubles it. You can have up to 80% of your maximum HP per second. Oh, actually, that sounds pretty strong.
Actually, right, no builds in their right mind will actually take Valpack these days. But I think there is one potential build that I would play with this. You use the Trial Master Shield. Master Hotter. Master Hotter have Valpack inbuilt already. So since you have that, and then you are playing some sort of you build it with tempered by wall, so you have fire, chaos thing, defenses. If you use instant leech, I think that will be crazy as well.
Excuse me, if you're dumb enough to play Bone Shatter Slayer, of course you take Valpack, alright?
No, I mean the fact that Valpack is it only doubles your leech, right? It's not instant already, what? So yeah.
Yeah, but it's 80% life regeneration per second. It's actually quite strong. And you will take it anyway. Yeah. It makes you almost invulnerable to dots. Dots actually deal a lot of damage in Path of Exile. I didn't know that.
Yeah, but the only bad thing about Valpack is at any point of time when your leech is over, you are basically dead. So the combo of the combo of Pathfinder with Matsu Hotter Shield and the replica Sorrow of the Divine with a life flask, that is a very good combo to mitigate all this kind of the downside of Valpack.
Right. if you want to be super ghetto, which is how I play Path of Exile, tinctures actually allow you to get a very rare life leech mod, which is for overkill damage is leech as life, which is something I don't understand why they give it, but tinctures you can actually get that mod when it used to be Slayer specific. So my Slayer runs Writhing Jar. I have that mod, and then I use that so that I can not die. Stupid melee.
Right. So, I mean, if you talk about very obscure mods, there's also one which is the Flask mod, the one that you actually heal leech 15% of your damage taken from your life. So I've previously used that to on my Forbidden Rite character. I play a legit Forbidden Rite build, and the build was sustaining with almost no regen. I'm only using Recoup and that particular mod. So I thought it was quite okay. If you are playing some sort of leech kind of archetype, maybe you can look into the Flask mod as well. It's very strong. Because it's 15% of the damage taken. So yeah, it's going to be strong for almost all builds if you are playing some sort of leech and if you're investing into leech. Definitely one of the more strong mods is actually the exploding one as well. I think the fact that any impale builds or any pure feast builds can just buy one charm and actually get the explode is actually crazy. It's the under the gladiator one. Yeah, you just have to bleed them, which is almost as easy as if you're playing feast build, bleed is almost confirmed.
But we already have the gloves, right? I mean, you have to give up the glove slot for that, but
I would definitely take a rare glove over hemophilia, because hemophilia is just for the explode. But if you have done one of these charms, you can actually just be a gladiator.
what ascendancy are you talking about? I've never heard of the ascendancy before.
Yeah, I mean the superior ascendancy is called champion. But yeah, you can actually just buy one of this charm and have a decent clear build with any class that you want to play, as long as you can apply bleed. But if you want to have a more non-conditional explode, you can actually get the chieftain one. But the chieftain one is based on some sort of the chance to explode, so may not be that well. Definitely, there's also the occultist one, but that one requires you to curse. So, I guess you can make a lot of builds through this as well.
For the occultist one, it gets solved by curse on hit. So
I think the charm mods that are broken are those that have a higher item level. So if you take a look at DB or the wiki itself, you check the item level of the mods. Generally, those are the mods that are a bit more broken. Things like the Juggernaut, the armor applies to the elemental damage taken from hits, fire, additional projectile. All damage can ignite +1 impale. All these are crazy mods actually. So if you can stack a few of these, especially things like impale, can you imagine that if you're playing a champion with already 7 stack of impale, plus the Watcher's Eye plus 3 charms, I think champion impale this league is gonna be quite crazy. You don't even need to be playing Splitting Steel. I think Splitting Steel is one of the more meta build this league as well.
Shockwave Totem Impale, let's go!
Yeah. Shockwave Totem is also very good for impale, but you have to get the glove, which is not easy to get. Currently, I think that one only drops from Uber Elder, so yeah, you might have to spend a bit of money. Because if you're buying something from them, you might as well just buy a corrupted one with like maybe increased crit chance or cast speed. Yeah.
I didn't know this was in the pool, but it seems that they have corpses you spawn have 11 to 20% increased maximum life also, which sounds pretty broken.
Corpse Life is not easy to get. The whole passive tree in PoE, there's only one wheel that has Corpse Life. And I think it's Undertaker. Very near to Pain Attunement. But yeah, there's only one note in the whole passive tree that has Corpse Life. And Charms, you can stack 4 of them. So this is broken. Technically, I will say this is quite broken as well, because you used to only can get Cons Ground if you're Inquisitor or if you use Rational Doctrine, but now you can actually get Cons Ground on every single character. I can't believe that's the thing right now. There's also so cover things in Ash is actually a mod in the Charm now. So if you are playing any sort of Ignite builds, Fire builds, you can actually just use a Charm and get the Ash.
There's a amulet that's cheap now, right? I mean, last time it used to be expensive.
Zoth Blood or Zoth Heart, right, actually requires the monster to hit you for Ash to apply. But for you to actually put Ash onto the monster is only the Scion Chieftain Ascendancy or Charms right now. Or you use the ring, which is the Polaric Devastation. So the fact that Charms has Inflict Ash is actually pretty strong. Yeah.
Wait, what is this? Minions gain added physical damage equal to 6 to 10% of maximum energy shield on your equipped helmet. Where's that from?
I mean, it's Necromancer lah, but the thing is that it's not strong because the highest ES shield that I actually crafted is about 300 ES. So if you take a top row, is 10% of 300 is like 30. It's not overwhelmingly strong. I think for the Necromancer charm, you can actually go for there is one that has the effects of offering 40%. That one is much stronger than this.
That one might be quite interesting even for detonate dead builds or like actually casting builds.
I remember there's a belt that actually let your character get blessing effects, right? So if you are using that together with the offerings charms, I think you can actually get quite insane spell block, attack block, or even cast speed. So I think players can go for those. And I think the more obscure the mod is, the cheaper the charm going to be. So yeah, you can actually plan around how you want to buy the charms out and play with. I think players can get creative with builds with charms, but the problem about the player base is that most of our players can't make builds, and they will just follow what the more popular streamer says, and combinations of charms that may be good in their circumstances may not get used unless they really understand what they are doing.
I can't make builds, I can't read, but that doesn't stop me.
But the thing is, at least you will try to find upgrades for yourself. But there are people who just only follow what the streamer says or whatever. And then let me just say like one example, right? I'm aware that there's a lot of power charge stackers because I have been running my power charge stacker penance brand since week 1, and currently it seems like power charge stacking is being played a lot, and like the wheel clash with a max power charge helm is actually 12 divine now, which I don't agree. The price is a bit insane. Some of the other gears that make power charge expensive is good is also very expensive currently. So yeah, it's kind of sad. So I guess do we have any more things to add for our 2 weeks into the league podcast?
Actually, I think we still have a lot to talk about, but it's like I think we can talk about it next week.
I mean, we can do a mental note on what we want to actually focus on for next week. I think it's cool for us to talk about what farming strategies we want to do for the next, for this week and next week to come, right? Because as far as it goes, around the table right now, Chiosef is running highs for the past 1 to 2 days. I've been running Guardian invites for 1 week now, and Bias is trying out Ultimatum. Will you be changing other strategies?
I'll probably try to get some numbers for the ultimatum, and I did a lot of testing for the ultimatum. I think Khan Slayer is really good for ultimatum, and I might actually make a video for it for if anybody's interested.
I see. Okay. We'll wait on Bias' video on his take on Ultimatum with Bone Shatter Slayer. I will be able to give a report on my Guardian farming soon because I am on my third set of one. So every time I do the Guardian farming, it's 12 sets, and I'm on my 30 my third round. So after this round, I'm projected to be able to buy my Mage Blood out. So I will report the findings maybe in the next week, the next podcast that we'll do, and um I will give my thoughts on, because I'm doing the Guardian farming for the first time in my whole POE play time, and I think this is quite a good way to farm money if you want reliable source of divines. Yeah, and I'll report the results in the next podcast.
I mean, I've just only started running highs yesterday. So basically, I'm just leveling all the characters there, the basically the job level. And then so far, I would say may estimate probably around 50 contracts, I guess. No, I don't think that's. I think probably 30 contracts. So within the 30 contracts, like is you don't even count in the grand highs. It's just normal contracts, and I've already found 3 div. So this might be my total copium this league.
I hope the listeners should remember that this bastard got like 2 locks in 2 weeks or something like that.
No, I got 3 locks in a day.
So don't trust this guy. This guy's a bastard.
I mean, yeah, as in like I was quite lucky to fund my build this league because I gotten the omniscience from the story boss.
Unethical.
I mean, I haven't seen Ashes or Missions after they have been released, and if I really want those items, generally I just buy the item outright. So and thus far I haven't bought those items, so I haven't been playing any Ashes or Missions build. Yeah, and actually just one question for Joseph. Have you actually done the story contracts, or is mainly just things that you drop?
It's all the contract from the smuggler's cache. Surprisingly, right, I haven't seen the story contracts at all though.
No, you have to actually start the story chain for them to drop.
Oh, so that means I have to go back to like Act 6 or something to. Is it? I have to find a cache in the Act that will drop the story contract.
No. Whenever you port into Rogue Harbor, there will be a quest line there. You just do the quest line first. I believe one of the story contract is there. Then from there you proceed on. You have to talk to the few NPCs. Yeah, then they will give you one contract, and then you will start to do. And then from then on, all your smuggler's cash will drop the quest contract for you to continue the whole chain.
I see. I mean, I've only went to the Road Harbor and then like probably the first quest where you have to go and talk to all the people for one time.
Oh, the rogues, okay.
Yeah, and that's about it. I didn't continue after that.
Okay. Okay. I think our time is almost up, and we'd like to conclude this week's podcast. We have a lot more to talk about in the next one. So if you are still here, we appreciate your view on our podcast, and we'll see you in the next one.
Bye.
Bye.